You know, after over 10 years in trading, I'd like to think I've experienced every emotion possible. However, after coming off such a big high, making over $120,000 trading profits last month in a 30-day period, only to then be told by FTMO that they're not going to pay me out $41,000 is a big anticlimax. And it just got me thinking. Like, I remember the journey of becoming a profitable trader, becoming consistent, and every emotion that comes with that journey. I mean, it took me 6 or 7 years to get to a point where I was consistent. You know, I've been through the whole element of confusion, like what strategy do I use? What asset do I trade? Do I trade Forex? Do I trade indices? Do I trade commodities? What time frame? Having a system and then failing to execute on it because fear of going into drawdown or fear of losing another trade. Then there's having the confidence in your edge because you've done an insane amount of backtesting, but then you miss all the trades because you're at work. I've been through all that. The lack of patience, the want and need to make money because you've been doing this for like 4, 5, 6 years and you're still not profitable yet. You start to doubt yourself. What's even probably worse is the other people closest to you, family and friends, they start doubting you as well. I've been through all that as well. But it just goes to show, I mean, I'm over 10 years in now and I've been consistently profitable 4 years, but you still face challenges. Your challenges, they actually get bigger the more capital you trade with, but you also build a thicker skin and you just learn to deal with these challenges and these emotions better. So, I mean, if I had only made 40k profit in a month, and that was with one prop firm, and that prop firm denied me that payout and I ended up with nothing, that probably would have messed with my emotions more, not gonna lie. I'm sure it would with you as well. But because I'd made 120k or more in total, 40k of that as a percentage, I don't even know what that is, 20%, you know, it's not as big a deal, but it's still big. It still affected me for a number of weeks. There was back and forwards emails with FTMO, and I'll go through the reasons why they denied me the payout, but they just didn't really seem to care. I didn't want to do like a rant video, so I just thought I'd do a really raw, just talking to you guys and girls about emotions, because I know that if you're watching this video, you are likely a trader and you're either going through the process of being consistent and profitable, or you are consistent and profitable and are looking to improve, like you should. I'm looking to improve every single day as a trader, but you're all going to be going through challenges and feeling these kinds of emotions. Usually the kind of emotions a trader will go through is things like, I'm not profitable yet, I've not made any money in the last month or the last quarter or the last year, or you're trying to get funded and you're in a challenge, you do all right and then you give it all back and you fail the challenge. These kind of things are usually the emotions that you go through. But like I say, when you actually do become consistent enough that you become profitable, you'll be faced by things like, okay, I've made X amount of profit, if you're trading prop firms that is, and that's probably the only downfall and the only benefit by trading personal capital, which I was doing for a number of years up until September 2024 when I switched over to prop firm trading, is the fact that they can just decide not to pay you out. And it's happened with 4 different prop firms now. One of them did end up paying me out because that was based on rules, and I was like, okay, you implemented a rule when I was trading the funded account. The rule was not there in the challenge phase, but whatever, I'll continue trading it until I've adhered to the rules, and then I got my payout. That's fine. There was a couple of smaller firms that aren't really that well known that didn't really give any reason why. There were small payouts, but they were kind of threatening not to pay me out. I just told them who I was and they ended up paying me out. But I just don't trade those kind of prop firms because I think it's very fishy, very scammy. But then when you trade a firm like FTMO that are so well known, they've got so much skin in the game, you expect them to be really reputable. And the reasons that they gave me, by the way, for not paying me out, there was 2 reasons, and it's ridiculous. The second one's more ridiculous than the first, but the first one is that apparently I'd risked more than 1% on the account. Now, for some reason, because I'm a profitable trader and they'd paid me out over $7,000 the previous month, and then they paid me out another $7,000 like a week or 2 before, and then I got to over $41,000 on my third payout request, right? So they're putting me into probably a high risk bracket because I'm actually profitable and they're a B-book model, so they have to pay me from their revenue, right? So they don't like that. They're also so big so they don't really care who I am, which is fine. But yeah, they imposed a 1% max risk cap on my funded account, which is fine because I never risk more than 1% on a trade, right? So I was trading gold during the period of end of March, early April, when we were on a huge bull run. And as a trader, you'll probably agree, like, trading 101 is catching a trend. You find a trending market, you trade with the trend, and you continue to trade the trend until the trend changes, right? So that's exactly what I do with my strategy, and that's what I did, and the market conditions were perfect for that on gold. So I entered one long, and I didn't enter the second position until I'd moved my stops in the first position to break even. So in my theory, risk management, the risk is off the table on the first, and then risking 1% on the second position. Then I enter a third position only after the first two position stops are rolled to break even. So I have no risk exposed. I'm entering a third position, but they're classing that as 3% risk exposure, which is a breach. Ridiculous. Hear me out. The second rule is even more ridiculous. They called it one-side trade betting. So because I'm buying only in a bullish market, in a bullish asset such as gold, they don't like that. And they literally told me that if I had been selling in there as well, then I wouldn't be exposed to this rule breach. So they basically want you to sell in a bullish market and to buy in a bearish market, which is ridiculous, and basically means they don't want you to be profitable. I mean, they've allowed me to keep the account, thanks FTMO, but they're not paying me $41,000, which sucks, because even though, you know, I'm a grown man and I've been trading over 10 years, nearly 11 years now, it still does affect you, because when you're in a trade, and when you're in 3 trades, and when you're running 5 figures, you know, there are emotions attached to that. And I did put effort into these trades. I did run through those trades with my community, my mentees, my students. But also, every time I go to bed at night, I'm thinking about these trades. When I'm opening my charts in the morning, I'm looking at these trades thinking, where are they? Where am I going to take my profits? And I took profit at a key psychological level. Call me lucky, maybe I was, but it was a key psychological level. It took profit on all 3 positions and then reversed. And we saw a bear market for about 3 or 4 weeks on gold. But to then be told you're not having your money for those reasons is a big kick in the teeth. So I just wanted to have this raw kind of face-to-face with you and just show that, you know, I go through periods where trading affects me emotionally and psychologically, but we've got to pick ourselves up. We've got to take it on the chin and we've got to move on. I could have, with that situation, gone down the other hole. I could have gone onto YouTube and done a full-on rant, and trust me, I thought about it and I thought, no, I'm not that kind of guy, and they probably won't care anyway, and I still won't get my money. And that's just negative onto negative. I'm not feeding the negativity with positivity. So what I did instead was, okay, you guys are not going to help me out. You're not going to, you know, you're stubborn with that. You're not going to pay me out. If you can continue to allow me to trade the account, that's fine. And that's what I've done. And I've, you know, taken it with positivity and I've moved on from that. And that's what you've got to do. If you're feeling impatient, you've got to think, what can I do to help me alleviate this lack of patience, right? So what can you do? If you're lacking in patience, then spend time in your free time away from work, away from family, to backtest and just understand on a regular basis how much opportunity there is. And there's no need to have fear of missing out of any individual day or even a week. A week goes by. If you think about last week in your trading, do you actually remember right now any singular emotion that you felt last week in terms of trading? Because you probably don't. You only feel the emotion in the moment. And if you've got, you know, people doubting you, or even if you have doubt in yourself, you've just got to have that laser focus and go, if it's going to take me 5 years, so be it. And that's the mindset that I had. I thought, if it's going to take me 5 years or another 5 years from now, then so what? That's a university degree. In 5 years' time, I'm only going to be 5 years older than I am, and I've still got 60 years left in my life. A lot of you have got more than that. It's only a small portion of sacrifice for a long term of pleasure. That's what I was telling myself. And I had a joke, and I've said this before on podcasts, that when my family would say, are you making money yet? And I'd just joke and say, give me another week. And there was enough weeks that went by that accumulated, and then actually 1 week I did actually become profitable, right? So again, it's positivity. How you deal with these challenges and with these emotions is what really builds you up as a trader with thicker skin. So if you're still here at the end of the video, leave me a comment and let me know recently what trading emotion you've been through and how, if at all, you have dealt with it. If you're still dealing with it, let me know if maybe you can't deal with it, or you're struggling to deal with it right now, and we can have a chat and a conversation in the comments, like a genuine chat, a conversation, trader to trader in the comments. And if we can help each other out, you guys help each other out as well. If you see someone that's struggling with something, reach out. I'll reach out as well. Tag me in. Let's have conversations. I'm not going to sell anything on the video. This is just a raw face-to-face talk about the real state of trading and what it's like being a trader, whether you're not profitable yet or whether you are profitable. You're always going to have these emotions. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you in the comments.